Hey everyone, it's March 20th. We got the EPS long range grumpy trade scan. Let's get into this list here. So we got XNET, and we could see here that XNET has this nice recent rally up above this rising 20-day, rising 50 out of this base, this consolidation, and we got this big leg up. So it's pulling back now, potentially setting up this bull pennant, bull flag type scenario. So it brings us to the intermediate time frame. We got a rally to a new high above this flat to rising 5-day moving average. So it's doing what we would like, coming back into here. Let's keep our eyes on this premises of 490 and 478 to see if we can catch some potential strength at the 2-day and 3-day VWAP. We have the week to date and month to date as well. So potentially we could start to look for some strength in here and then carve out a higher low. If this is our decline here and we do get some strength, maybe it's a buy above this 529 with a stop at this 502 area, maybe 499 area underneath the prior day VWAP. We got TRVI here. You can see here in the daily time frame, this stock gapped up, barcoded for a while, rallied up to this prior level of resistance, barcoded, and it's rallying up to this prior level of resistance. So let's see if maybe we could get a little pullback down into this 650 area, get some strength, and get back above 690 to take it up into this 744 in this prior daily high, and then see if we could just get some continuation. LX, this rallied up to a new high yesterday and then got some profit taking. So we sketched this out the other day here when it popped up on our scans. So right now in the pre-market, it's trading down at this prior neckline. So it's doing what we would like to do. Maybe we'll continue to consolidate a little bit, get back above this VWAP peak from this high up in this area, 1074, and perhaps we get evidence that the buyers regain control from that high, and we could look to use that as a launch pad to trade back into the prior high and for upside continuation, and with a potential stop at this 1028, 1040 region. ALHC, this was on our scanner as well. We're looking for a little pullback. We did get a pullback to this prior high, got back above our daily VWAP, and pushed up into that prior high, consolidated it, and got going to our rallied up to the prior high VWAP, consolidated on it, and pushed to a new high. So we had some scenarios here. We looked for the pullback, didn't pull back as deep as we would like. Ideally, we should have got tagged on one of these alerts of these VWAPs, notified once the daily VWAP, stop at the low of day. So ideally, if we just move this over slightly, it would be something like this. Your stop could be then the low of day. And then once that would have been playing this one. And then ideally was taking this one here, but then a potential really tight stop here, or accepting that risk low of day. And then taking this into here, risking about 0.75% to make, just under about 1.75%. So we'll see if this could now, maybe since it just ran just under 1.75, little pullback here and get going. We could buy it above 1723 with the stop under the 1690 premises underneath the 2-day and 3-day VWAP. HSAI. This one here, we had this big nice leg up off this little downtrend here into the 50-day moving average. We pushed up and we've been barcoding ever since in this little range. So that brings us to the intermediate time frame. We've got this rally right now, this pullback. Okay, it's a little broadening, but it's starting to tighten up as we got this rally to the new high. We're still under a declining 5-day moving average, and we're trading down here. So what we really need to see is a pullback, a push up to this 2150 region, get some breakout chasers excited here, pull back in to this convergence of these week to date, 2-day, month to date, daily VWAPs, 3-day, and then look to get some strength here. And then maybe we could get going. So as the data drops off the next 2 trading days, we got the opportunity that if we do get a quick sharp rally, that the 5-day moving average could start to flatten out and rising. So rise. And if we have this rally to a new high above a flat to rising 5-day, maybe we could look to participate with a buying above this prior high with the stop underneath this range here, or maybe even a stop underneath this range here at 2024, 1950. So could be setting up here. If this gets a quick rally here, could start to reclaim this week to date VWAP. That gives us evidence the buyers are control, and that can maybe fuel push up into these prior highs or up into that daily R2 with a potential stop like we just talked about at 2014. This one just ran up. It's not really, but we'll have to, I need to see this digest. Definitely not early to the party. This was the early to the party here, was when you have this rally up, pull back, and then the gap above. So this is the gap above the 5-day moving average, pull back to the month to date, some strength, right? We could participate up in here with the stop under there, stop under there. That's the trade I'm interested in. Now I'm looking for it to digest. TGTX, same concept, late to the party. You know, looking for to try to catch that early trend. And let's see, concept, 5-day moving average, push up, starts to reclaim similar pattern, month to date VWAP. That's where I want to make my play with the stop up in this premises to ride this wave. So OKTA, aggressive push up, aggressive push down, right to an aggressive push up, getting tighter up here, which is nice to see. So we'll see if it'll be different this time from the last time it got smashed. We got a rally to a new high, lower lows. So we'll see if this pattern could. So right now we see. So we need to watch this and say, okay, if it breaks this low, then we're starting to see a pattern of lower lows and lower highs, right? If it pulls back to this level, undercuts that low and recovers back above that week to date VWAP, perhaps we could look for the trade into the daily VWAP for a break through that week to date into daily R2. So maybe potentially watching this at 114.36 with the potential stop at 113.36. BCS. We can see here, every time it rallied up here, stuffed, rallied up, stuffed. Now we just rallied up how much percent and how many bars off this 50-day moving average. 7, oh, that's not the right indicator. We got 12% and 7 bars, and every time it gets up to this premises of potential supply, it's been getting smashed. So we mapped out on the intermediate time frame potential scenario where we were actually looking for this hasn't happened, and the pre-market we're getting it right now. So maybe this is now, if we rally up, we need to monitor to see if this is going to be supply or at the 16, which then could start to create a sequence of lower lows and lower highs on the intermediate time frame. NEM, this one's holding on to these recent gains here, but it does have a little extended move, kind of like we talked about here. This is where the early trend of the 5-day moving average started. So yeah, 10% in 5 days, just about. So let's see if we break this low. I think we're starting to see a sequence of lower lows and lower highs on the intermediate time frame, and we need to continue to watch this one down the road. but let it digest that recent rally. RTX, same thing. It's up in here, up and away. So ideally, maybe to the 2-day VWAP, undercut these lows, get back above the daily VWAP 2-day, and then we could get a potential trade into this prior high and breakout. But if this gets starting to get stuffed under the 2-day VWAP, comes down to the week to date and 3-day, need to start to monitor for lower lows and lower highs on the intermediate time frame. BABA had this consolidation and the break pushed through. Now this average buyer from this recent rally is losing money, quantified by this anchored VWAP. And you can see here we're starting to barcode and starting to see a sequence of potentially lower lows and lower highs. So if this low gets broken, we're coming in to potentially lower lows and lower highs. Maybe we actually where we are in the pre-market. So maybe we could hold this month-to-date VWAP, get some strength, but then we need to watch out for us to start to see this 5-day moving average starting to turn on us. So it's just something to be caution of on BABA. And then this would be a rally to a new low above a flat to declining 5-day moving average. And then potentially maybe watch out for further continuation, maybe back down into this gap. I'm not calling for that. Maybe rallies up into here, gets digestion, gets back above that 5-day moving average. Right? And instead of looking like this, we get more of a bullish scenario. So a rally to a new high above a flat to rising 5-day. And then we could look to buy that strength with a stop underneath that low. YMM. So we have nice little rally, 2-day consolidation. So maybe it's as simple as just buying this above this high, 1370, or that yesterday high day, 1378, with the stop under this low, 1341, or stop under the convergence of this week to date VWAP. Because then if it rallies up into here, gets stuffed and breaks this low, it rallies up here and breaks that low, you need to watch out for that 2-day VWAP to become a source of supply. And then we start to see that pattern of lower lows and lower highs. XPEV, pull back to the 20-day moving average after a nice rally up here. So we got this orderly decline right here. So we're trading down in the pre-market, lower lows and lower highs. Maybe the potential of starting to see higher highs and higher lows. But with this being filling this gap, this needs to now trade all into here, that declining 5-day, pull back, and then maybe potentially get a rally back up, and then stops could be potentially in these premises. But we still would have to play with that 5-day moving average as we actually rallied right into it and gapping down. So all the dip buyers that just bought underneath the declining 5-day moving average, they're waking up, and how are they feeling? WMB, every time rally up, rejected, rally up, rejected, rally up. So what could be different this time? Maybe it just keeps going. Buy there, stop under here, stop under 58.45 premises. Here was about 58.94, just under 2-day VWAP. I'd like to see this actually digest an inside day or something, or come back into this 5-day, get some strength, and then maybe we play that breakout. Here we have a nice little rally up and orderly consolidation. So we could see this is trading at the month of the VWAP. If we could get a quick, sharp recovery into this 5-day moving average, some consolidation, and get going over the next couple of days, that will give the opportunity for this data on the 5-day to start to drop off with barcodes. So if we continue to barcode over for a day or two and then start to get back above, that'll give us the opportunity to see this rally to a new high above a flat to rising 5-day moving average. Maybe we could buy above these prior highs with the stop under this significant higher low in this 379 premises, and then maybe could take this trade back into these prior highs. Look for some look for this push into these prior highs, get some digestion, come back, look for that support to be retested, and then play that breakout back into this previous high here. Up at this 460 cal. We got push up, 2-bar consolidation recently, digesting the gains down at this prior level of support. So we need to say this needs to rally up to all these prior day VWAPs. Is that going to be a source of supply, or is it going to just rally right straight up? Then if it does rally straight up, do you want to buy something that just rallied up 6% really quickly, or do we want to let it digest into rally up really quickly into a potential source of supply, noted on the daily time frame as well, where you could see this prior level band of support is acting as resistance now. So then maybe if we could come from a position of strength to play that and get involved here at this 1448 with the potential stop under, maybe this 1425 premises. So that's the EPS long range grumpy trade scan. Hopefully this was helpful.